This article contains disturbing information about human dismemberment. You've been warned.
I don't remember that at all.
The next article that we're going to be going over is The Federalist.
Yeah, from the Federalist.
From the Federalist, excuse me. A division of the Federalist media. And I wasn't really aware of the Federalist until I kind of delved a little bit deeper into like who these people are and what they stand for. Because this article was written by a person named Edie Haple, and it was written April 15th, 2021. So just last month.
Red-blooded Americans. All of them.
Right.
Yep.
So idiots.
Patriots.
Gotcha.
Heroes.
Hey,
First responders.
morons. Gotcha.
Fuck these people.
And fuck the Federalist.
The title of this article
Trash.
is, now just by the title alone, you can kind of tell where this might be going. It says the federal government
might be clickbait. It might be clickbait.
Right? It says the federal government caught buying fresh flesh of aborted babies who could have survived as preemies. What? And the sub little title underneath there says Americans should be outraged. Their government participates in wide-scale human trafficking operation that created a market for harvesting the organs of murdered infants.
So American.
Now it's our
Which
duty.
is great because
It's our duty as Americans to save the unborn, right? Because they need to live happy lives.
Exactly.
it's a life, not
Unborn
a choice.
Those unborn lives won't save themselves. Somebody needs to stand up for these little unbornies.
Right. They need to, once they're like pulled from the stomachs of their mothers, and just let them roam free.
Unborn rights are
I'm pretty
all
sure
rights.
there's a John Carpenter movie about this where like the baby kind of like slugs around on the floor and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's like
After
that.
it slithers out of the cooch.
But you should still save it, you know, because it's an unborn baby.
Yes.
Now it's born because it's out of the mother's stomach.
Right, exactly. But
Yeah,
then
now it's ready to pay taxes.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Get a job, you fucking moocher.
We need more
You fucking bum.
We need
That's right.
more poor middle class people to pay taxes. So let that baby be born. Let him work at McDonald's. Tax the motherfucker so he can contribute to society.
Don't be a drag on the state, you little shit.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait a minute. I'm from a middle class family and I work at McDonald's. Oh no. Gamed all along.
This article's for you, Daniel.
Okay, so it says last week, legal accountability group Judicial Watch, and that's also questionable.
Yeah.
People
Legal accountability.
dropped a bombshell on people. The bombshell is here. Here it is.
Yeah.
It says a nearly 600-page report proving the U.S. government has been buying and trafficking fresh aborted baby body parts. These body parts purchased by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to humanize mice and test biologic drugs in scientific experiments came from babies up to 24 weeks old gestation, just weeks before being born.
It kind of sounds like a fun tongue twister to game people with
Yeah.
when you get drunk. Quick, say baby body parts 3 times fast.
So
Baby
what's
body parts,
hilarious
baby
is
body parts,
that
baby body parts, baby body
in
parts.
looking
Fuck.
into this fucking this document, the dude that's emailing this person that's supposed to work for the FDA has their email address is at garlic.com. I did a casual Google. I found one address
Oh.
You found one
that
address?
ties to a
love
place
garlic.
called garlic.com.
Garlic.com.
And the only email is sales@garlic.com. But everything else, just looking at garlic email and I see nothing. Let's try @garlic. Like, I don't know if this is some like weird, like,
Garlic.
oh, fuck.
At garlicbread.com. At cheesygarlicbread.com.
It just looks like one of those shitty early 90s websites where it's just like rainbow text everywhere.
At
and
stuffedcrazygarlicbread.com.
Yeah.
you're making me hungry. You stop that. Back to talking about baby body parts.
Baby body
No,
parts, baby
but
body
with
parts,
this,
baby
yeah.
body
So like in this document, you've got like, apparently this source from a @garlic.com address going back and forth with this person with a very official looking FDA email. And scrolling through it, there's a few exchanges where it's like, oh, I'll see you at the mouse conference or whatever. That'd be cool. Da 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 da. But a lot of it are just emails from the garlic dude saying, oh, we've got your order ready. FedEx tracking is this. And then they have a couple reports on blood tests or whatever for these subjects.
Extra cheese costs you extra.
But it's just, I don't get it, man. Like, it just seems so convenient, because if this were a thing, the Federalists would not be covering this.
No,
this
yeah, for sure.
CNN,
No,
Fox News.
well,
but you know what, Daniel?
Fuck you, Biden.
That's all part of the elite's plan.
right.
You got to get independent media like the Federalists to do this because Fox News, CNN, they're all run by the same big elite corporations.
They're all about the ratings.
And they can't
Murdoch's got a stranglehold on
The Federalist is about the
they can't
truth.
officially give out the information about the Democrats drinking the. Was it the Andrew Croman? It's the baby's blood shit that gives them all their youthful looks. Because we all know Hillary Clinton looks really youthful and shit like that. It's giving her all her energy.
It's the baby stem cells.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
I love that South Park episode.
Part of the article says caught red-handed, and the abbreviation for the Advanced Bioscience Resources, the ABR, it says. This is not the first time I'll say it one more time. The Advanced Bioscience Resources has been in the spotlight as the company was under congressional investigation for its long-standing involvement in fetal tissue trafficking. One of the oldest fetal tissue procurement firms, the company makes millions every year by harvesting organs like lungs, livers, eyeballs, and brains from aborted babies and reselling them at a profit.
Millions.
Yes, and then we mentioned the emails between the FDA officials and the ABR employees reveal disturbing conversations as they collaborate to buy and sell aborted fetuses. You got to keep those babies fresh,
Yeah, otherwise, they lose their potency.
And the fear mongering continues on, saying like they're so callous in their conversation that they talk about these baby fetuses like they're in a butcher shop, like discussing their meat
And
stuff like
again,
that.
like I said before, this woman has obviously never been to the meat market. Callous. You do not associate that term with a butcher.
You're gonna just like
The
talk about a rump roast like that?
Disgusting.
I don't think so.
What is, obviously, she's a garbage bottom feeder. Does not know how to buy her own steaks, cook her own food.
She gets one of
So
those food delivery people to fucking bring that shit to her.
Pathetic.
Rich person.
Privileged.
I'm going to invoke an article we didn't talk about.
Okay.
Check your privilege.
But it was the one from NPR about human monkey hybrids that are being developed or whatever.
Right.
And they've got embryos of them. But I find it interesting how that is dropped by a relatively major news source in this country. But no one jumped on that.
What country was doing
really.
that again?
But then as far as
China?
pointing attention to it or like pointing any problems towards it,
was
or
China.
pointing fingers at like that's problematic.
Daniel, did you remember the country that was
I thought it was China.
mixing the human monkey body parts? Was that China?
Monkey body parts, and you're
Oh, I'm
making
sorry.
fun, you're making fun of me for. I
sorry.
did read that
It was
fucking
this monkey
article. I
parts.
told you
No.
I forgot. No, it's not
Jeez,
fucking
I
monkey
can't remember if it
parts.
was out of China or
Yes,
not,
wasn't it?
but
Monkey
you had a
parts?
lot of U.S.
No,
folks
it was
talking
monkey
about it.
cells?
So I wonder if it
Yeah,
was
yeah, sorry.
research being done here.
Just
Yeah.
thinking.
Look, I'm saying body
And it
parts.
is
I keep saying
interesting
body
in the
parts here.
article because
so-
like
I know it's just.
that did come out last year, I think. But it was fascinating when, like, in that article, maybe we should have talked about it, but they, bring up the whole idea about people have like, potential concerns about like cross species disease exchange or transmission.
I know Dr. Malone
and it's
type of
like,
shit, man.
Wuhan, like,
No, don't you know?
Wuhan ain't nothing to fuck with, man. So, continuing
if
on
you
with the
got
article.
bats, then bring the ruckus.
Even more
Wuhan
appalling.
lab ain't nothing to fuck with.
Even more appalling is an ABR employee complaining about the difficulty of identifying the sex of aborted babies.
That how do they have a
appalling.
problem identifying the
How do
sex
you
of
fuck
aborted babies?
that up?
I don't know. Like,
Because they casually talk about like, oh, if we can't identify them, we just kind of throw them in the barrel. Like, and it's like,
Yeah, and how is that worse than actually using them and
but it's like these
harvesting
little
them and shit?
dudes are about to be
Oh,
born
man.
like within a week or so of them being snatched out prematurely or whatever. So
And
the fucking sex
they think
organs are
it's
going to be
worse.
there.
And,
Yeah.
and they think it's worse to not be able to tell than
how long does it take for like the genitalia to like form in the womb? Like, I mean, it's pretty
I don't
early.
know.
Isn't
I do not know.
I don't know
But
birth science.
just based off of the idea that these fucking dudes are like basically ripping these preemies out within a week or two of them being born, I don't think that there's just a sudden little boop back in
Yeah,
like the last 2
right.
days before you fucking get born as a boy or the chick.
Aha, his balls dropped. I see it.
It says the baby's sex organs develop mostly between weeks 7 and 12. So it's
Okay, so yeah, and there's like
so
what
yeah, they're-
38
like 3 or 4
odd
months
weeks of pregnancy or
3 or 4
something like
months.
that.
Yeah, there's 9 months of pregnancy, and that's like in the first to second trimester, like right in the middle of the second
Yeah, so-
trimester.
Yeah, so
So
it's taking shape.
So like they're saying like
I can see the taint.
Yeah, I mean they're saying like they can't tell, and so that's really stupid. Like, why would they? Who the fuck is like? Do they have in charge of this?
We
This reminds me of a Monty Python sketch from The Meaning of Life, where you
Christ.
send it, where the guys
It's
go
like,
in for
where-
live organ donation,
Christ.
and the mother of the son who's about to be fucking, get his liver ripped out because he had that organ donation card, and she told him it was a bad idea. So these guys show up to, extract the fucking liver, and she's like, "Oh, she has her doctors in." They're like, "Oh, no." They're just, fucking just like grunts, laborers or whatever, just going and sawing out someone's organ for transplant, But that's just kind of what it reminds me of when it comes to these guys that are supposed to be like, in this huge body trafficking ring, and they can't even go, "That's a penis."
All right, let me get to the rest of this here because it only gets more stupid ridiculous. We only check external genitalia, and if it's not there, we have no way of telling.
It's like,
What? Simple. Simple.
Like,
You have one job, motherfuckers. The fact techs are unable to identify the sex of aborted babies is no surprise to those familiar with the barbaric nature of abortion procedures, which require clinic staff to piece together mangled remains of babies
like,
after their
actually, I
limbs and
remember
organs
I
are
did take
torn
some pre-med
apart.
classes at one point when they talk about
Jesus
abortions.
Christ. Yeah, right.
You're supposed to go through
Right,
with a fucking bear trap and smash the genital area
there you
and
go.
rip whatever away.
And then
Daniel-
they're drawn and quartered.
then you send them to the fucking FDA for
Daniel,
testing.
I mean, when they pull it out the womb, it looks like ground beef and like spaghetti and shit. Like you just can't tell. Like it's all stringy and just like
Stop,
sticky.
Ray,
They don't want to.
I'm getting hungry.
They don't want to like. You can't. It's hard to tell.
There's a lot of gross stuff
Just
there,
sprinkle
guys.
some Parmesan on
You know,
that, some noodles. And
Yeah, it looks like
Would it
there's
be
Parmesan
great
in
if
there
one
too.
of those guys like
Stinks
from
like
these
vomit.
smuggling organizations like comes out and
tastes
it's
like
like
spaghetti.
come
Hold on.
on.
Let me get my Italian
you do
seasoning.
it then.
Let me just put some basil and some oregano.
And so we have here, it says, as if these casual orders weren't horrific enough, more emails confirm that the FDA bought organs of babies who were aborted well after 20 weeks of gestation, after the time a baby usually can survive outside the womb. I dare you to try that. Fucking just take the baby out. I told you, just let it.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
right?
It'll be
Yeah.
totally fine.
It's cool.
Doesn't need any help breathing.
They're
at
like
all.
astronauts, man. They'll be fine.
And
yeah.
it says, if nothing else, this confirms the reality of late-term abortions in the United States, which pro-abortion cheerleaders have denied for decades. Those people outside the abortion clinics, cheerleaders,
Yep. Man,
There's
doing
no
what-
way the right wing media wrote this at
No,
all.
no, not at all. Absolutely.
This
And-
is fucking objective as it comes.
The article continues on, an atrocity against human dignity. And it says, again, more gruesomeness. You want to read that?
these gruesome excerpts are just a sample of records substantiating the 2019 lawsuit Judicial Watch filed against the HHS, which houses the FDA. In March of this year, a federal court ordered the agency to release records it withheld about purchasing organs of aborted babies, saying it found reason to question the transactions violated federal law. Reason. This is.
They must have the dumbest fucking lawyers working for them, man. Like
Real
Jack
hard up
Kelly
for,
level fucking.
hard up for work. Is what these motherfuckers are.
It continues on. The court's decision found that the U.S. government bought second trimester livers, is it thymuses?
Yeah,
Brains, eyes, and lungs for hundreds of dollars apiece from ABR, stating ABR could collect over $2,000 on a single fetus if purchased, or $60.
So-
and then the
so-
federal government participated in this potentially illicit trade
are
for
you
years.
seeing the same problem that I am, Roland? Like with black market fucking organs and stuff. There's no way you're dropping $100 when you know, or you're getting $100 when you know that the asshole you're selling it to is going to make $2,000.
So
There's
like
no fucking way.
so
Like that's like the dumbest criminal ever. Like I can maybe pay my rent if I get 60 babies this month.
or well, so just for the low price of your stimulus check, you too can own your own
Baby parts.
personal
baby
fetus.
thymus.
What the fuck is a thymus? Jesus Christ!
Everyone's always wanted a baby eyeball, you know, at least.
Maybe she meant to write thorax. You dumb shit.
You know, and especially the brains too, since they're so fully
Oh
developed.
man, have you? I mean, it's a delicacy, Ray.
I mean, the potential of either, like you said, a delicacy or potential of being like an Einstein brain and that you can grow in a jar. That really happens, right? I mean,
That's you put it on your coffee table. It's one of those conversation pieces. If I'm not mistaken.
No, that's that baby brain I bought.
Yeah, it's got an IQ 150. Man,
And that's what I spent on it. $150.
and it continues on again. Again, Americans should be outraged. Their government participates in a wide-scale human trafficking operation that created a market for harvesting organs of murdered infants. In no humane society could such a violation of the human body and dignity occur, in which babies' eyes are harvested immediately upon death. Organs.
You know what I call that? Recycling.
efficient.
It's super green.
And it says, until demanded otherwise, our society is complicit in the unchecked abuse and commodification of preborn children. Moral urgency is incumbent on us to condemn these atrocities sanctioned by the federal government's lead medical researchers and fight to stop them.
The more you know.
And we may lose our battles before we win.
These little
Yes, the more you
babies are just paying it forward.
Now, we did mention the person who wrote this article, Edie Heppel,
Eddie Heppel.
Eddie Heppel, whatever.
Sure.
And we always have to disclose the fact that she has previously worked at the White House Office of Management and Budget under President Trump.
And so she probably gets hit by her husband every once in a while.
But best friends with
builds character.
The most famous human trafficker, Epstein, right? I mean,
Oh yeah.
but yet,
See, I still think Epstein was just a stooge. Like, I think he was involved in all that shit,
Absolutely.
but he's not the big fish.
No,
Like,
no, not at all.
He's not. He's just a pedo.
If he
Pedo
was,
ass.
Daniel, if he was, I mean, as soon as he got suicided,
As
human
soon as he
trafficking would
got
have stopped.
Epsteined.
Human trafficking would have stopped.
Yeah, exactly.
I
But
mean,
we obviously know it's
Right.
continuing on. Who is involved? You got Donald Trump,
We would have had peace in the Middle East. We would have had
Bill Gates.
fucking Bill Gates is in all sorts of weird shit
Yeah.
now
Yeah,
because
he's-
apparently Melinda's all like, it was really weird for him to go off with Epstein. And
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he wanted
but
to
I
be
wonder
friend
if that's
of-
just not taking advantage of the situation where she's looking to make a boatload of money.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, I hope she gets all of it. Fuck him.
Well, maybe Jared from Subway was a part of this whole thing too. So I mean, so he had to put him in jail.
Maybe like it's
He was.
I mean,
he was their
that's
fixer.
a nice jab at the mid 2000s like politics, but seriously, like, you know, who knows how fucking deep that network goes, man? Like,
It is very
because like one thing Ike never really talks about, like our buddy David, you know, back there, several volumes on the shelf, you know, he will talk about how these dudes are like terrible like pedophiles or whatever, but he never like leans into that. At least in my reading, it's more of the other nefarious shit. You know,
somebody-
not to downplay.
Somebody
You know,
probably called him
fucking-
and said in a deep voice, "Stop taking."
Yeah, maybe David Icke on the Isle of. Where
Be
the
a
fuck is he
shame
live?
something
Isle of
happened to
Man.
those.
Maybe he's got his own
Okay.
deep throat that meets in the one covered like parking spot in the entire like nation of England.
Can you just a mock phone call of that? Hello. Stop. Stop what?
no,
Why?
You get the phone call. Stop what? Well,
We're gonna get you, bitch.
well, that's highly unlikely.
How rude.
Anyways, I guess that's the end of that article. It's the whole article itself is just a bunch of fear
Hilarious.
mongering.
Look at the bottom where they have
Nonsense.
where they've got the tags set up.
Yeah,
It's like
aborted baby parts, abortion, crime, FDA,
oh
HHS.
wow, I didn't even get that
Judicial
far. I
Watch.
just read the main text and then tried to
Late
dive
term
into the
abortion.
PDF a little bit.
And then you have to
Um,
throw in Planned Parenthood as well because
Yeah.
they're as evil as they come to.
Why not?
And by all means, the Federalists are doing God's work because according to the Bible, I'm pretty sure it's somewhere where Jesus talked somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
And they said, you Americans need to go out and fight all these people killing
Right.
my children, please.
Have-
But by all means,
make
don't-
lots of babies.
Yes, but once they're born, don't help them at all. Don't be charitable in any way. Just
no, leave them alone.
make sure they're born, and then leave them on the streets.
yeah, when that baby's got bootstraps, they can lift them up as themselves up as any other American. You know,
All right, and it's not our fault that no one helped them tie their shoes. So let them be.
well.
What is that? What
See,
was that
the whole
old?
thing is like, the shoelaces are untied, so it's just more of a area to grab to, pick yourself back
what
up.
was the? What was that old? What was that old Jesus teaching? Feed a man a fish. Teach a man to fish. Fuck him, let him die. I forget.
something like that.
I
I
forget.
think-
It was.
Oh, sorry, that was Confucius.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me. I misspoke.